Okay, so today we have Morrissey and the Ordinary Boys. Now, coming into this, researching some stuff, I see that this was on Viva Hate, but in a 2012 remastered edition of the album, this was omitted from the album, and now it's kind of hard to find versions on YouTube, but I did find this one from one account, which I think it has like the most views of any video for the song. So anyway, I'm going with that version. Anyway, I don't know if it's different from the original or not, but anyway, we'll get into all that after. Let's just get into the song, talk about it after. Let's go. All right. So, Morrissey, The Ordinary Boys, from the Viva Hate days. So, like I said off the start, I have to come back to it right off the top. Because again, this was omitted, I guess, from, like I said, the remastered version that came out in 2012 of the album, and another song was put in its place. And right off the bat, it's like I really enjoyed this song. I mean, I have to say, Vini Reilly on guitar. I'm still kind of sick, so I feel like my voice sounds weird. Anyway, but Vini Reilly on guitar, I talked about him before, and I've talked about as well that I feel like I've underrated him. Just his style adds a new flavor to a Morrissey song, and I mean as well when you come back to his first debut album, Viva Hate. Everyone said it before. It is obvious that he coming from the Smiths. It's just like I don't know. You get a different feeling than. At least for me anyway, it's a different feeling than, any other album. Every album has its own feel, but like, of course, with Viva Hate being the first, solo debut album, whatever, it's just like, because he's branching out into a world that, was new to him, it wasn't with a band anymore or whatever. He still had a band, but it wasn't, with Mar and the rest of the boys. But anyway, so yeah, I just love the flavor of, Viva Hate. And yeah, just to come back again to the whole thing. I don't know why Moz didn't want the song on the album, whatever. Many years later, changing the track list, which I mean, he can do, obviously, and he did. But yeah, I really enjoyed this track. I really enjoyed Andrew Parisi's, kind of, again, the tumbling kind of drums. The tumbling is the word that comes to mind right off the bat, and then right off the bat of the song, I mean, and also just the slow tempo, the calmness of the song. Morrissey's vocals, I don't know if I probably have heard him sound better or whatever, but I mean, he sounds terrific here, his vocals. And again, it's the late 80s, his voice, he's still very young, he still has, he's still in his peak or whatever, his voice is still very good. And yeah, it's just, he could, sing with the best of them at this time. And, cause obviously your voice, changes as you grow older, but back here, yeah, he's young. Anyway, and, yeah, I don't know, so yeah, I just really enjoyed his vocals. He sounded so sincere, and like I said, love Andrew Paresi on the drums. Love his style. Love Vini Reilly's style. Again, it adds a different flavor than any kind of guitarist that he's had. Each guitarist I feel like had obviously Alan White and Boz. I mean, they were around forever, but Vini Reilly, yeah, he just has kind of a different style, I feel. And yeah, I just appreciate him too, as well as Alan and Boz. But anyway, yeah, so I really enjoyed the musicians on the track, and yeah, just a nice sounding song, with the music anyway. Lyrics, also I do have to say, lyrics, again, masterful kind of way. And again, that's what I always talk about, the lyrics never take a back seat. Morrissey's, written so many great songs, whether they're known or they're not. You look at the lyrics and, usually they're pretty darn good. I mean, he's a great songwriter, obviously. And I mean, here you talk about what sound, and again, I just love his, his vocal delivery, vocal style on this, talking about basically what seems to be, a depressing town, but, these ordinary boys and ordinary girls don't really know. It's just, the narrator, which is Morrissey, I guess, has a different perspective, but the people that he's talking about don't understand anything different than what they live. I mean, so I guess just to read the lyrics right off the bat too, because again, they are intriguing to me. So with the first verse, ordinary boys, happy knowing nothing. And right off the bat, I think I did laugh when I heard that, because yeah, it's just happy knowing nothing. It's just they're happy, being oblivious to whatever's going on. Happy being, and also kind of reminds me of something like the lazy sunbathers, whatever, just happy to not know what's going on somewhere else, whatever. Happy being no one but themselves. Ordinary girls, supermarket clothes, who think it's very clever to be cruel to you. And again, supermarket clothes, it just, kind of seems like, they don't care what they wear or whatever from the supermarket. Who gives a shite? For you were so different, you stood all alone, and you knew that it had to be so. And again, just poetic lyrics. I mean, I can't get over it. And again, only 2 verses, chorus, twice, and then the outro, just, simple. Avoiding ordinary boys, happy going nowhere, just around here in the rattling cars, ordinary girls, never seeing further than the cold small streets that trap them. And that's, again, and again, it's just that whole thing of like, it seems like they're oblivious to that they are trapped. But the narrator, he sees that, and it's kind of like he doesn't understand how they don't see that kind of a way. And at least that's what I take from it. Anyway, and then the chorus once again, but you were so different, you had to say no when those empty fools try to change you and claim you. And then the outro for the lair of their ordinary world, where they feel so lucky, so lucky, so lucky. With their lives laid out before them, they are so lucky, so lucky, so lucky, so. And the question, of course, comes to mind of, does he think these people are really so lucky? Because again, they're so oblivious, they don't know any better kind of a thing. They have these repetitive, unfulfilled lives, I guess you would say, from his point of view. But again, they don't care. It's just, they that's all they know. And it's just like that's just, it's ordinary, whatever. And it's just like they don't, no ambition comes to mind. They just live in this town, whatever. And that's just what they know. And that's just how it happens. And it's just like, again, it's just a simple way, to survive. Like I see a comment here talking about that, the narrator is one of those people who just can't see life in that simple way, you know, to survive and enjoy whatever. You know, to talk about, again, because, you know, the narrator, Morrissey, whatever, you know, talking about how he feels like he couldn't do that, I guess you would say. Anyway, that's what comes to my mind, you know, with looking at the lyrics and such and talking about, again, and how another comment here, I'm just looking at YouTube, how they talk about, you know, this kind of captures the same essence of, you know, of depressing life in a small town, like in every day is like Sunday. So again, you know, Morrissey, you know, he's talked about this kind of stuff before. I mean, my God, you know, the same themes come back around. But yeah, so I love the kind of bleakness, I guess, to it. Again, love his delivery. I just can't get over, you know, his sound on this song. And again, I just really enjoyed all the every musician on it. It was just sounded so calm, like I said, and so easy, you know, was such an easy listen. And yeah, it was very good, I thought. Anyway, so great song, you know, what I said, you know, going over the lyrics. But back again to, I was looking here from an interview that Stephen Street did, which of course, producer, and he was the producer that Moz worked with in 2012, when they were, you know, redoing the album, whatever, Viva Hate. And so Stephen Street did an interview with Fergal Kenny, whoever that is. But anyway, it's a exclusive interview anyway, and it's written out. And I was just looking at this, what Stephen said about all of this, you know, about the album or the song being omitted, because I'm intrigued, I'm curious as hell. So it says, you know, this is what Stephen said. It's quite unexpected to see a fan favorite like The Ordinary Boys being dropped for a demo. Treat me like a human being. So there it is there. As far as I'm concerned, the album should not be changed, should not have been changed. I kind of argued this with Morrissey as much as I can, and made it clear that it was a mistake. I really like The Ordinary Boys. I think it's a great song, and that's another thing that, you know, so many people talk about. It's one of his greatest songs I've seen people talk about. So again, it is kind of just odd that he, you know, it's not on. Anyway, he said, "Treat Me Like a Human Being" was something I found in my archives, and it's a great little demo. But to take off The Ordinary Boys, which was produced in that session, and put a demo in its place, I personally think that's wrong. And then he goes on, "I think that album should have been left as it was. There's also a big chunk of Late Night Maudlin Street that's been taken off, and I'm really not happy about that, but what can I do? It's Morrissey's album, and I'm the producer. It's like when Suede Head was put on the Bona Drag remaster, and the intro was removed." So anyway, you know, I like that, you know, what can I do? It's, you know, Morrissey's calling the shots, and I mean, yeah, he's, you know, made, you know, he's been in the business for a while. I mean, Morrissey can do what he wants with his own music. But yeah, it is just odd, and I just love the whole story about it, everything surrounding it, you know, why it was taken off, who, whatever. But anyway, I got to listen to it here. Again, I hope it is the, you know, it says here in the title, you know, redesigned edition. So I don't know if that, you know, they changed it up or whatever. But again, this was the most viewed video I saw for this song. And, you know, other... because I did see, you know, on other things where it said, you know, listen to the song here, and the video was terminated and everything. So anyway, this is the only video I could really find that, you know, was the song. So anyway, but like I said, I like this song. I thought it was very good. And yeah, I love the flavor of it. Love early Morrissey as much as I love, you know, later Morrissey. You know, it's all pretty darn good. And yeah, so anyway, I guess that's all I got to really say. Stephen Street, I also have to say, is on bass here. So Street, he wasn't only the producer, obviously. He had some work done as well. So yeah, just really shout out to Vinny, Stephen, and Andrew. I always love Morrissey's, you know, bandmates, whatever, that he's had throughout the years. So they were really good here again. So anyway, this was intriguing to me. I'm glad I did it, because again, when I searched up about it and saw everything, you know, the controversy or whatever, I was like, well, what's this about? And yeah, so it was just fun to learn stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. Thanks for the requests as well. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Hopefully less sick.